Good morning. Thank you for joining us for an oral history interview at the Campbell County Training School Complex. My name is Tanya Meredith, the oral historian. For the record, could you please state your full name?
Geraldine Gaines Pettigrew.
Thank you. Miss Geraldine, could you please tell us about your family, your parents, any siblings?
I was born in Campbell County to Annie Mason and Irvin Gaines. I have two sisters. I'm the oldest. I have one that's deceased next to me, and my baby sister is still living.
So can you tell me any fond memories you have about your childhood?
Yes. Where we live, we walked to school, walked to Megginson School. We walked there. And whenever we had any plays or anything important, we always went down to the church and the community. And that's where we had our plays and whatnot.
What time did a typical school day start and what time did it end?
I'm thinking it started at 9 and ended at 3 o'clock.
And can you tell me who your teachers were? Do you remember any of your teachers, if you had more than one?
Yes. One of the teachers was Miss Jones, and there was a Mr. Hemmings, and there was a Lawrence Spencer, and Miss Fennell was our visiting supervisor.
Can you tell me what a typical day was like at school? From the time you guys came in until you left, what was a typical day like?
We had devotions in the morning, which was always ended with prayer and whatnot. And then we went to our classes. And then there was a 10 o'clock, a morning recess. And then we had lunch. And about 2 o'clock, we had another recess. And the school was open. And all our bathroom facilities were outdoors. We didn't have any indoor plumbing. And we had a pot-belly stove. And then we had wood, and we had coal. The county supplied the coal. And we didn't have any water. At first, they went down to a neighbor's spring to get the water. And then later, they drilled us a well. Of course, you had to pump the water from the well.
And what about lunch? How were your meals provided for lunch?
Well, we bought our lunch from home, and then later they had what we call the home economics room, and then we had a cook that would come in there and whatnot.
To cook your meals for you, or prepare the meals for you for lunchtime?
Yes, for the ones that needed it.
What were the typical subjects that were taught?
Well, in the first grade, we had reading and writing in the first grade classes. And then we had English and geography. And this was the first 3 grades. They were in the lower classroom. In the next classroom, we had history and English, and we had geography, and we did a lot of reading.
Do you remember the books that you used? Do you remember the condition of the books? Or can you describe the books and materials that were used in the school?
Well, we had, in the beginning, we had Mary Jane, and in the primary room. And then later we had around the world geography. Then later when we got in the other classroom, we had started some history and English,
Did you do any other types of activities, school carnivals or field trips when you went to school?
We had, the girls did embroidery work, whatnot. And I forgot what the boys did, but each year we came down here for the exhibit. And anything that we had made, we brought down here and we put I think it might have been in this room for exhibit for others to see. And they were awarded ribbons, blue ribbons, and, ribbons according to your work.
Okay. And so did your school have a library?
It didn't have the Megginson school, it didn't have a library, but we had a library case.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you mentioned in the mornings that you did devotion.
Yes.
And was that reading a Bible? What was the devotion?
It was Bible verses.
Bible verses.
In particular on Friday, everybody had to say a Bible verse.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Everyone had to
say a Bible verse, a verse from the Bible. And quite often they were the same ones. But
in the beginning, you mentioned how you got to school.
We walked.
Okay. Do you remember any of the children that came on buses?
No, not at elementary school. All the children walked.
Okay.
If they didn't walk, there was some that rode with the teacher. They lived up on the highway, and they rode with the teacher, a couple of them. But other than that, everybody walked to school.
Okay. And what years did you attend the Megginson School?
Oh, I was 6 in August. I was born in 1995. So I know I had just turned 6 in August.
Okay.
So, and I started school in September.
Okay. And for the school year, was it a typical academic year like now? What month did you begin and what month did they let?
Well, we began in September.
September?
Uh-huh. And the school was out early June, the first part of June.
Are there any other memories that you have of attending the schools that you would like to share with us?
No. Well, when we came down here, we had to ride the bus. Well, that was quite an experience. We had to ride the bus. And you met with the other students from all over the county and whatnot. And that was good because you met other people, and whatnot. And I really enjoyed it and whatnot. One of my favorite teachers was the gym teacher because I had wanted to go to school to be a gym teacher.
And how was discipline handled at school? If you didn't finish your assignments or if any of the children acted up, how was discipline handled in the classroom?
Well, now I'm not sure because I usually tried to finish mine and whatnot. But I do know at one time, if the boys didn't behave, the principal spanked them. He spanked him and said, "Sonny, you know better than that."
Did you have homework?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you completed
I did.
that? Okay.
I wasn't the top person in the class, but when exam time came, I was exempted from the final exams.
And so then the next questions that I have are about the community and maybe some of the opposition or other experiences that you remember while you were going to school. Do you remember having some issues race-wise in the community because of segregation? Do you remember any instances of that or experiences while you were going to school?
No, because we went to out school and others went, But where we live was just black in that section. It was one other couple, a white couple that lived there, but they didn't live over in the other section with the other white people. It might have been because of their income. I'm not sure.
So in thinking about going to school at that time, what did you think about education then and your experience then, and what do you think about it now?
Well, I had always wanted to go to college. And after high school, my parents weren't able to send me and we weren't familiar with the scholarships and whatnot. So I didn't go to school until after I was married. And then I went to, school then.
So when you were attending the Megginson school, though, what did you think about the education that you were getting at the time?
Well, I really didn't know. I thought I was, everything was all right. I was just in my early teens, well, like 13 and whatnot,
And so looking back on it now, what do you think about the education that you were getting?
It could have been better. It could have been better.
And why do you say that? What could have been? What things could have been better at the school you were going?
Well, the reason I said it because when I got to high school, we didn't have any typing or any office skills offered to us at all. We had home economics for 2 years. That's what the girls had.
So what do you think of the efforts to collect the memories and legacies of the students who attended the Rosenwald, Washington schools?
What do I think about the information?
What do you think about the efforts to preserve the history and to reach out to the former pupils that attended and to collect those history?
I think it's very good. It's very good, and it should be education for the people to come on to let them know what we went through when we were coming up.
So when you were attending school, did you notice the differences in the schools you attended and the white schools?
The white schools were offered office skills and whatnot, and the ones that didn't go to high school could go and get a job, like in the stores and whatnot. And we weren't, because we didn't have the skills and whatnot. And if we wanted to work, we either went to the laundry or to work for somebody in their home, take care of the children or cleaning their homes or whatnot. That was back in 1946.
Do you remember your parents impressing upon you the importance of education? Did your parents really push you guys to?
No, but they made sure that we finished high school. But like I said, they weren't able to send to college. And we didn't know anything about scholarships or anything. And nobody informed us. And I guess maybe we should have inquired more, but we didn't. And I just wasn't able to go until after I got married. And my husband saw that I went to school.
And I'm sorry, what was the name of the school that you went to after you got married?
After I got married, I went to Central Virginia Community College. And I got my associate degree from there.
Very good. Thank you so much for joining us for our oral history interview today, Ms. Geraldine. We appreciate you sharing all that with us. Thank you.